Very good morning, friends. Well, magnetic effects of current. In that, we did talk about the force experienced by the wire or a moving charged particle. Now we have a new topic, Biot-Savart's law. In order to find out the magnetic field produced by a small segment of a current carrying wire, let it be PQ, of length dl, right, at a point at a distance r from it, let O be the point at a distance r from it, making an angle theta, right. The magnetic field produced by a small segment PQ of length dl at a point O, which is at a distance r from that wire, Biot-Savart proposed a law based on the experimental data. Remember, based on the experimental data, what they found, the magnetic field produced by a small segment of a current carrying wire is found to be what? First, this is small magnetic field we are representing with dB is directly proportional to I. Means higher be the current, higher will be the magnetic field. dB is directly proportional to length of the segment. Third, this dB is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. And fourth factor, this dB is directly proportional to sine of the angle between the current and the radial vector. Remember this fact, current and the radial vector r. This is theta, right? If you sum it up, what we will get? dB directly proportional to I dl sine theta by r square, right? And here the constant is mu 0 by 4 pi I dl sine theta by r square. This is the Biot-Savart's law, the magnetic field produced by a small segment of a current carrying wire, right? This mu 0 4 pi has got a fixed value, where mu 0 4 pi is a constant which has got a fixed value of 10 to the power minus 7 units. We will calculate the unit, right? And this mu 0 is known as permeability of free space, that is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 unit. Permeability, just like permittivity, the ability of a medium to allow maximum number of magnetic lines of force through it, is represented by this permeability. So, how to find out the direction? This will give you the value, but how to find out the direction? In order to find out the direction produced by a small segment of a current carrying wire, right hand palm rule number 1 is used. Hand palm rule number 1. Number 2, if you do remember, we have used this for the forces. So what this law says, This is the thumb, finger, right? If thumb represents the current direction and fingers towards the point where we want to find out the magnetic field, then the direction of palm, this right hand, direction of palm will give you the magnetic field direction. Field direction, right? How to apply? Suppose I am having a current carrying wire like this, I, and R point is somewhere here. What will be the rule? Current point, my palm is directing to inside. Here the magnetic field B will be perpendicularly inward to the plane. Very simple, like this. This is current, this is point, palm is directing towards the plane. Here, if the point is somewhere here, if point is here, then what will happen? We can simply divert like this. This is the current, this is point, palm is directing outwardly, so it will be here. In this case, B will be perpendicularly outward to the plane. So don't get confused, simply use it for magnetic field. Palm rule is for magnetic field and Fleming's left hand rule for force. Then you will not have any contradiction or any doubt about it, right? Application of Biot-Savart law. Magnetic field at the center of a current carrying circular loop just consider a circular loop of radius R, and I is the current flowing through it. R is the radius, this is the center. Now how to apply Biot-Savart's law? So for that we simply consider a small segment. Let it be again PQ of this circular loop of length dl. If I want to find out the current direction, I will draw a tangent at this point that will show the current direction R, right? And radius is always at 90 degree with respect to tangent, so this is always 90 degree, right? According to Biot-Savart's law, what we have, the small magnetic field is mu 0 by 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square. That's what our law says, right? Let PQ be a small segment of length dl, so the magnetic field by PQ dV, if I say, will be mu 0 by 4 pi I dl. Now sin theta will become sin 90 by r square. At any point you can take, right? Tangent is always perpendicular to the radii. Simple geometrical theorem if you have read in class 10th. So what we got is mu 0 by 4 pi I by r square into dl. This is the small magnetic field produced by this segment. Now this whole loop consists of a large number of small segments of same length. Hence, the total magnetic field at the center of the loop B, since it is a closed loop, so it will be a closed integral of dB. So closed integral of d means closed integral of mu 0 via 4 pi I via r square into dl. So dl is the only variable, so mu 0 via 4 pi I via r square can be taken as common. We left with closed integral of dl. So what is closed integral of dl? Closed integral of dl. So what we will get? dl, we will get a circumference. Line integral, circumference of the loop. The total length will be the circumference of the loop. So how much will it be? Simply 2 pi r. Hence, the magnetic field at the center will be mu 0 via 4 pi I via r square into 2 pi r. Right? Do make some adjustment. 2 pi to the 4 pi, r can be cancelled. We left with mu 0 is equal to mu 0 I via 2r will be the magnetic field at the center of a circular current carrying loop. But loop is never in one turn. If n be the number of turns in the coil, then the magnetic field at the center will become mu 0 Ni via 2r. Simple formula. Magnetic field at the center of a current carrying loop, where what is n? Number of turns in the loop, I current, r radius of the loop, and mu 0 is the permeability of free space. Right? So very simple formula. Most of the time it is used for the numericals. So one has to know this formula. B equal to mu 0 Ni via 2r. Now the pattern, board pattern has been changed now. How do they ask the question? They are not using it as a numerical factor. They are using it as a concept level. So what we got is B is directly proportional to n. Means larger be the number of turns, higher will be the magnetic field. Second factor, if you check it out, V directly proportional to I, higher be the current, higher will be the magnetic field, or a straight conclusion. And third one is, in this case, remember B is inversely proportional to R, right? Lesser be the radius, higher will be the magnetic field. But one key factor which they are asking nowadays is this one. B is directly proportional to mu 0. So what is mu 0 here? It is the permeability of free space. Now what sort of question they are raising? They are saying that if a ferromagnetic substance is inserted then remember this V will be directly proportional to mu 0 into mu r. Remember this factor where mu r is the relative permeability, we say, where mu r is known as relative permeability of the medium which we are using. Right? Means the magnetic field will increase by mu r times. We have a complete topic over this permeability, relative permeability, so we will take it later on. But here the factor is that the magnetic field will increase by mu r times. You insert a short of a rod, iron rod or cobalt rod, the magnetic field will increase. This is the new pattern now, right? Magnetic field due to a straight current carrying wire. Here I am having a straight current carrying wire. I is the current, and let us consider a small segment PQ of it, whose distance, which is at a distance r from it, making an angle theta. Let this angle be phi. This is 90 degree. Let it be M O like this, and PQ is the small segment whose length is DL, right? And this length O to M, let it be A, small a, or whatever you want, A. This is R. In the basic geometry we have to do, right? So according to Biot-Savart law, because we are applying it, according to Biot-Savart's law, the small magnetic field produced by PQ segment of the wire what will it be? Our formula says dP is mu 0 by r 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square. This is the Biot-Savart law. Now we will do some improvisation. Here some geometry will be used in triangle OMP, right? Theta plus phi plus 90 equal to 180 degree. So theta will become 90 minus phi. Agree? So if theta is 90 minus phi, then sin theta will be what? Then sin theta can be improvised by writing it sin 90 minus phi. And sin 90 minus phi trigonometrically is nothing but what? Cos phi. Right? Then R and A. In the same triangle as cos phi will be what? Base over hypotenuse. If you are having any problem, go to the basic. Base over hypotenuse. Base is A and hypotenuse is R. So from that I can write down R equal to A by R cos phi. Means I got a substitution for R. R can be written as A sec phi. This is the second substitution, right? Then we are having DL, right? Let this length be L. As tan phi is perpendicular by a base. Perpendicular we are having L and base is how much? A. So I can write down L equal to A tan phi. Differentiating both sides, what we will get? dl is equal to A sec square phi d phi. This is the third substitution. These three substitution we have to make it here in order to find out, right? First theta 90 minus phi, then r, then dl. Substituting these values, substituting the value of equation 2, 3 and 4 in equation 1, what we will get? dV equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I. In place of dl, what I have to write down? A sec square phi d phi. In place of sin theta we have got cos phi, and in place of r square we will have a square sec square phi. Sec square phi can be cancelled, 1 power of a can be cancelled, then we left with what? dV equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I by a cos phi. This is the magnetic field produced by a small segment, right? Now what we want? We want to find out the magnetic field produced by the wire a particular length. Suppose if I am connecting its extremities like this, right? This denote an angle phi 1 and this one as phi 2 as a limit. As phi 1 is below the axis, so we will do it, take it negative, right? Hence the total magnetic field produced by straight current carrying wire B will become the integral of dB ranging from minus phi 1 to phi 2, right? One has to be very clear about it. Why minus? Because it is below the horizontal axis and this is above that. If one is positive, other is negative. Substitute this value. Mu 0 by 4 pi I by a has nothing to do with the integration value. The only variable is cos phi d phi ranging from minus phi 1 to plus phi 2, right? So B comes out to be mu 0 by 4 pi I by a. You integrate it, integral of cos phi is what? What you will get? Sin phi ranging from minus phi 1 to phi 2. If you apply the formula, lower limit upper limit formula, it comes out to be mu 0 by 4 pi I by a sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. Remember, this is very important formula produced by straight current carrying wire whose length is ranging from phi 1 to phi 2. This is the original formula actually, right? But our article is to magnetic field produced due to straight current carrying wire of infinite length. If you will read it, infinite length. So for infinite length, phi 1 equal to phi 2 equal to pi by r2. If length is not defined, so it is pi by r2. So in that case, the magnetic field will become B equal to mu 0 via 4 pi I via A sin pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2, right? So it comes out to be mu 0 via 4 pi I via A into 2. 2 is a 4, pi is there. So B is the magnetic field produced by straight current carrying wire of infinite length. Remember, the magnetic field produced by straight current carrying wire of infinite length. Remember this factor. This is the formula which we are going to use directly. The magnetic field produced by straight current carrying wire is mu 0 by 2 pi I by A, right? But the actual formulation is this one, mu 0 by 4 pi I by A sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. Right? So how to apply it? The formula which we have got is very simple now. B equal to mu 0 by 2 pi into I by A or R, whatever you want, where A is the perpendicular distance. Remember, like this is current carrying wire. If it is a distance R from it, P, let R be 10 centimeter, I be 5 ampere. What will be the magnetic field? We can directly use it. B equal to mu 0 by 2 pi I is 5 ampere, A is 10 into 10 to the power minus 2. So B comes out to be 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 into 5 by 2 pi into 10 to the power minus 1. 2 to the 4, 10 into 10 to the power minus 7 plus 1, what we will get? 5, 6, 5. 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. Very simply we can use it. So far as direction is concerned, it will be perpendicularly inward. Right? But if this question is in this form, in a different way, suppose I am having a square of side A. Current I is passing through it. We want to find out the magnetic field at its center. How to get it? We want magnetic field at O. At the center of this square. How to apply it? Let's name them P, Q, R, S. Right? How to calculate the magnetic field produced by PQ segment? Current I is passing. So we will connect it like this. Remember. So since it is a square, this value comes out to be 45 degree. This is also 45 degree. So this formula will be applicable here. BPQ will be mu 0 via 4 pi I via A sin 45 plus sin 45. Right? And it comes out to be mu 0 via 4 pi I via A sin 45 is 1 by root 2. So 2 by root 2 we will get it, or root 2 times mu 0 via 4 pi I by A. This will be the magnetic field at the center due to PQ segment, right? What about the direction? It will be perpendicular to here. Just look at here. This is the current direction. Point is here. The magnetic field is inward. Palm is directing toward inward direction, perpendicularly inward. Same way we can calculate here the magnetic field produced by the QR segment. dQr will come out to the same value, root 2 times of mu 0 by 4 pi I by A. What about the direction again? Check it out. It is like this. So it is again perpendicularly inward. So if you calculate all 4 values, you will find out the direction of magnetic field is always perpendicularly inward in all 4 cases. Like this. So what will be the total field at O? In case of electric field, if you remember, it comes out to be 0, but here what is happening? All are being directed toward the center, so total field will be 4 times of root 2 times of mu 0 by 4 pi I by I, 4 root 2. What I mean is that if the limits are given, then you have to apply this original formula B equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I by A sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. If limits are not given, simply straight line wire is given, the formula will be simply mu 0 by 2 pi I by A. Ampere's circuital law. Just like Gauss theorem we have, what we have in Gauss theorem is total normal electric flux passing through a 3-dimensional closed surface is always 1 upon epsilon naught of the total charge enclosed by it. So here, if I am having a straight current carrying wire I and I consider a loop around it, a loop of radius r, you could say. So what this theorem says, the closed line integral of the magnetic field around a straight current carrying wire is always mu 0 times of the current passing through that wire. Write down in terms of the statement. According to this law, the total line integral of the magnetic field around a straight current carrying wire is always mu 0 times, remember, mu 0 times of the current passing through the wire. This is known as Ampere's circuital law. Closed integral, line integral of VDL is mu 0 times of I, right? We can prove it very simply. If I consider a wire and a loop of radius r, right, then the magnetic field at, you could say, due to straight wire, current carrying wire, we have just proved it, B equal to mu 0 by 2 pi I by A. We did it. Instead of A, we are having R here, I R. So what will be closed integral of BDL? It will be closed integral of mu 0 by 4 pi, not 4 pi, 2 pi I by R into dl, or mu 0 by 2 pi I by r into closed integral of dl. Now again, closed integral of dl means the circumference of the loop. Closed integral of b dl will be like this. So closed integral of b dl comes out to be mu 0 times of I. That's what the Ampere-Circuital law is, right? By using this we can prove so many formula very easily, right? By using this formula, a shortcut is also there, though we do not use it until or unless it is required. We use it Biot-Savart law for that. But if it is an emergency, then we can produce the magnetic field produced by straight current carrying wire of infinite length by using Ampere-Circuital law. Right? This is a straight current carrying wire, radius I and R. We are considering a loop around it of radius r, right? We will directly use Ampere-Circuital law. According to Ampere-Circuital law, what we have? Closed integral of b dl is mu 0 times of I. So what will happen? Closed integral of line integral of dl equal to mu 0 of I, and integral is dl is what? 2 pi r is mu 0 I, or b is mu 0 by 2 pi I by r. This is the simplest form to find the magnetic field produced by straight current carrying wire. But remember, it is a shortcut only. It is not the actual formula, though it comes out to be like that, right? It is a shortcut. Then magnetic field produced by solenoid. By solenoid. So first of all, what is solenoid? An artificial magnet in which insulated copper wire is wrapped, and when current is passed through it, what happens? It starts behaving just like a natural magnet. But here we have to apply this Ampere-Circuital law to find out the magnetic field produced by the solenoid. So for that we consider a loop, a rectangular loop like this. Name it P, Q, R and S. Through this solenoid, at the magnetic field is at the center, right? At center. So how to find out? According to Ampere-Circuital law, what we have? Closed integral of b dot dl is equal to mu 0 times of I. This we will apply for this loop. So what we have? This for the loop P, Q, R and S. Let the current direction be like this. This closed integral of b dot dl will be equal to closed integral of first S to P B dot dl plus P to Q B dot dl plus Q to R B dot dl plus R to S B dot dl, right? So what we got? This closed integral B dot dl P to Q equal to R to S B dot dl. They are perpendicular to the current direction, so it is 0. And so far as this closed integral of Q to R is concerned, there is no current outside it, so B dot dl will be 0. So what we left is closed integral of B dl is simply S2P B dl, right, which is B closed integral of dl from integral of dl from S to P. That will give you the length. It gives you B into L, length of the solenoid. So if I substitute here, hence this closed integral of B dot dl is mu 0 times of I, and we got B into L equal to mu 0 times of I. So what will be the magnetic field? So B will become mu 0 by L into I, right? If N be the number of turns in the solenoid, then B will be mu 0 N upon L into I, right? And this N upon L is known as small n, where we use N upon L is number of turns per unit length. Let it be small n. Then B at the center of the solenoid comes out to be mu 0 N I, very popularly used for numericals, right? It means in solenoid B is depending on what? This N. What is N here? Number of turns per unit length. Second factor directly proportional to I, and third factor again I am talking about B directly proportional to mu 0, right, for a ferromagnetic substance is inserted, then B will become directly proportional to mu 0 mu R. Remember this magnetic field will increase by mu R times. And one more special case is there. At the corner, at the center it is there, at the end of a solenoid, this magnetic field be at any one of them, half of the central value mu 0 Ni. These two formula you have to remember, right? This is the magnetic field produced by solenoid.